We needed them, so good on them. And some of them actually got in, so we're very pleased about that.
There were a historic number of Indigenous candidates on the federal ballot for the 2021 election. As results come in, it appears 10 Indigenous winners have been decided. The question among some is, will Indigenous voices and issues be heard in Ottawa moving forward? According to the Assembly of First Nations and the Canadian Press, at least 75 Indigenous candidates ran in the election, surpassing the previous record of 62 Indigenous candidates running in the 2019 federal election.
There's no other way that we're going to resolve these human rights issues and the genocide that has occurred and is still occurring in Canada unless we really get in there and fight for our rights.
Lynn Grew, CEO of the Native Women's Association of Canada, doesn't think enough Indigenous representation is present in Ottawa right now. Grew wants long-standing human rights issues like access to clean drinking water, the housing crisis on reserves, and the horrors of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls to be addressed and solved. But Grew says even with 10 Indigenous members elected to Parliament, each person will face unique challenges.
This is systemic racism and systems that are in place they're not Indigenous. They're colonial systems. So it's absolutely built into every layer of the bureaucracy. Maybe we need to talk about and think about an Indigenous Peoples of Canada Party, because we're not, it's not the best fit trying to fit ourselves into a system that's really not ours.
I think there still needs to be some work done, definitely in politics at the grassroots level, educating our young people and reminding them that, hey, you know what? Our aunties can be MPs. They can run for a seat in the House of Commons.
Artist and member of Pimachikamak Cree Nation, Lisa Muskwagon, says issues in the north around failing railway lines to Churchill, lack of housing, poor internet access, and inadequate medical treatment options for those living in remote northern communities must be voiced in Ottawa. She says the problem is that in the past, when politicians have given attention to these issues, potential solutions crumble under the bureaucracy.
I'm proud to see the Indigenous politicians that do make it.
The federal government is really, I think, is hitting the nail on its head right now and making sure Indigenous priorities are important.
David Chartrand, president of the Manitoba Métis Federation, was pleased to see 7 Métis candidates running in the election in Manitoba and is optimistic about the election results. When it comes to Indigenous representation in Ottawa, he says there could always be more. But he believes that with the current government, he will be able to soon settle long-standing land claim disputes that have persisted and plagued the Métis Nation for over 150 years.
So there's no doubt in my mind we should be able to settle this claim this time. And within the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, how long that mandate is. But I assure you that'll be my number one issue, and that'll set the foundation for the next generation. So it'll be a massive settlement. But one that's been waiting for 151 years to be dealt with in this country.
In Winnipeg, Mark Neufeld, City News.